let's look at two techniques that you can try at home with your loved one with aphasia. The first one is to maintain eye contact with them. First, get their attention, and then as you're speaking, they will be watching your facial expression, any gestures you may do, your body language, and those will be clues for them that will help them understand the words that you're saying. You also want to look at them because they'll be giving you clues as well. Often you can tell if they've understood or not by the look in their eyes, and sometimes they might gesture or they might look to something in the room that's relevant to the conversation that you're having. And so it's really important that you watch them. So it may sound simple, but it's absolutely key. It's just essential to be maintaining that eye contact during conversations. The second technique that you can try at home is to write keywords while you're talking. This technique of writing keywords or keywording is very powerful. It's very helpful for most people with aphasia. Even people with mild aphasia often benefit from the writing of keywords, particularly when the discussion that you're having is complex or serious. For example, if you're discussing medication or if you're thinking of moving to a condo. Let's think about that example of moving to a condo and see what it would look like to use keywords. So first of all, you want to find a table that you can sit side by side, and you want it to be quiet. You want to have the right supplies. You want to have some paper, just like white photocopy paper is excellent. You want to have some for you and some for them, and you want to give them a pencil, and maybe you want a fine tip marker, maybe a black marker that is going to have some good contrast. And then what you're going to do also is think, is the situation optimal for you? Do they need glasses, or do they have a hearing aid, or maybe you do? So you should have that for an important discussion. You also might experiment a bit with which side you are going to sit on. Sometimes after a stroke, someone might be able to attend better on one side, for instance. Then what you're going to want to do just before you get started is breathe and get into the mindset that this discussion is not, it's not ideal to go quickly. You want to take your time with this discussion, and then you can get started. So I'm going to talk normally during the discussion, but I'm going to write some key words. So first you want to introduce your topic. So you might say, so the reason I wanted to sit down with you today is I want to talk to you about something important. I want to talk to you about our house, 32 Maple Street. We have been here a long time, right? We've been here 20 years. And they've been good years, and I love this house. I've always loved this house. But lately I'm finding there's some problems. Okay, so you want to make sure that the person with aphasia can see what you're writing. I've also asked you to do something a bit contradictory. First I tell you you have to maintain eye contact, and now I'm telling you to do something where you're going to break eye contact to write. So really when you're writing keywords, you're going to be alternating between writing and looking at the person with aphasia, looking at how they react to what you're writing. So I'm talking in full sentences, I'm writing keywords, I'm still maintaining eye contact periodically, quite often. Don't try and write quickly. You want the pace of your discussion to be slow, and therefore writing will slow you down, and that's great because that's exactly what you want when the person has aphasia. It'll still sound normal, but it will be slower, and it'll be easier for the person with aphasia. So here I've written keywords, as you see. So you can see that I spoke quite a bit, but I didn't write very much down. And I printed rather than writing in cursive, and I've left some room on the page. Generally, the more severe the aphasia, the less words you should put on the page and the more room you need to leave on the page. And it will vary as to what you're going to write. So for someone with very mild aphasia, to have written 32 Maple Street, that might be a bit strange because that might be overkill. In which case, don't write that. Write something that's appropriate for the person. But for someone with very severe aphasia, that actually would be the cue that they would need to understand what you're talking about. So after that, I've said that there are problems. Now I want to talk about what are the problems. So I would probably take a new sheet. I'm going to put the first one aside. I might actually turn it over. And the person with aphasia might want to refer back to it at some point. But I'm going to take a new sheet and I'll say something like, so these problems, what problems am I talking about? So first of all, there's the garden. Okay, I love gardening. We've had a beautiful garden, but right now I just feel overwhelmed. It's too much. It's too much maintenance. I can't keep up with the weeds. It's really hard. Another problem with this house are all the stairs, right? There are too many stairs. That's been a bit dangerous, I think, for you, and limiting that you can't go to all the parts of the house without supervision. So I think the stairs are a problem. So what have I written? I've written problem, garden, stairs, like a point form list. If the person has relatively mild aphasia, this is all you would do, and you could go through a fairly long list. I think if the person has more severe aphasia, you don't want to list 12 things. You just want to list the more important things. If the person has very severe aphasia, maybe you want to draw a picture to go along with things. Okay, you might want to draw a flower. You don't have to be an artist. You might want to draw a flower. You might want to draw stairs, but you wouldn't put that with someone with very mild aphasia because that would probably be too much and would seem strange. You're going to watch. You'll have to experiment, and the person with aphasia, they will let you know if you've overdone it. Probably in their expression, they'll look like you're patronizing them. And they will look confused if you've put too much or haven't given enough context if they have more severe aphasia. So try keywording, but don't expect it to be perfect all the time. There will still be communication breakdown, and that is normal. In fact, even speech-language pathologists with many years of experience still sometimes have times when they don't know what the person with aphasia is trying to tell them. So what do you do in a situation like that? Because probably they're frustrated and you're frustrated. What I would suggest is to try to stay calm and be honest with them and just say it out loud. Say to them, I can see you're trying to tell me something. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. I don't understand. And that helps them a lot. The fact that you are indicating that you realize they have more to say, that they can't say it, that you're being sympathetic. And when you say that you're sorry, it shows that you're accepting the burden of some of the conversation as well. It's not all them who have the problem. You have a communication difficulty that you're trying to work out together. So try the two techniques, maintaining eye contact and writing keywords, and you'll see what works, and feel free to experiment.